the voices that won't be televised will be heard on the radio.
So now it's your time to speak up.
Hello listeners, you are now listening to Speak Up on 91.9 The Buzz. My name is Aaron, and in the studio today with me I have our usual host, Ifadul Hook and Jordan Logue. Our guests today are some of the officers of the Georgia Southern University Gay Straight Alliance. Among them are Corey Dennis. If you could introduce yourself to us, please.
My name is Corey Dennis. I am a senior Spanish major here at Georgia Southern University. I've been involved with the Gay Straight Alliance for about 4 years now, and this is my first year being an officer on campus.
Karsten Hendricks.
Hey, I'm Carson. I am the historian for the GSA. I am a junior history major, and I've been involved with the Gay Straight Alliance for about 2 years. And this is also my first year being an officer.
And finally, we have Ashley Washington.
Hi, my name is Skippy Washington, and I am a junior psychology major, sociology minor, and I'm the current treasurer of the Gay Straight Alliance here. And I've been involved with GSA for this is my second year being involved, and this is also, like Carson and Corey have both said, my first year actually being an officer for the organization.
Well, we're glad to have you on the show. And just to start out, if you could sort of introduce to us and to our listeners that may not know what precisely the Gay Straight Alliance is, and some of what you do on campus, or some of your goals for campus.
Well, I guess I'll answer that a little bit, but my fellow officers are certainly welcome to jump in anytime they want. I think the Gay Straight Alliance on campus is different for everyone. I know that for me, it serves as a supportive role for those who decide or feel that they are part of the GSM spectrum, that is gender and sexual minorities. That includes lesbian, gay, transgender, queer questioning, and that goes on, but that's why we're starting to use GSM more and more. It serves as a supportive role and a resource for those students to not only understand who they are, but how and why they are and how they came to be. I think that it's a place of support, a place that helps people understand how social interactions can dictate where they're going to go in life. And I think that that's a lot of the things that we discuss in a lot of our meetings.
For me personally, it also serves as a forum for debate. We often have discussions, and we even have a separate thing for discussions, Coffee Talk, which I run personally, and that's a political discussion group, so it's also a place to discuss politics and also to just discuss how you feel about things in the GSM community, or just to learn. It's an education resource, basically.
I would also like to add, personally, I came to GSA to meet people like me, because outside of GSA, I don't really have many friends who are within the GSM community, but I do have a bunch of allies.
Now let's move into some of the GSA's campus activities. What sorts of activities or programs does the GSA support on campus, and more specifically in regards to National Coming Out Week this week, which is rather unique for our GSA, the week of National Coming Out Day. What did we do this week?
Well, Monday we had a special GSA meeting that involved talking about coming out and telling coming out stories. Tuesday we had a fundraiser at Barbaritos where 20% of their profits from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. went to the GSA. Made a little bit over $200, and we also had a special coffee talk that evening that was about coming out as well, and also the implications of coming out and whether it's a necessity or not.
And on Wednesday, we had mock weddings and a small fundraiser where we sell baked goods. I believe there was a pretty good turnout for the mock weddings. I know I got married and Carson did too. It was really fun. There was even a bouquet toss, and it seemed to be quite popular. Well, it was a popular event that we decided to bring back from last year. And on Thursday, we had a panel for National Coming Out Day, since it was the day of. I know I was on that panel, and Carson and Corey were on that panel as well, along with Dr. Sabia from the Political Science Department, Dr. Palmer from the Sociology Department, Afad, and...
We also had Jesse Turek from the Fraternal Sorority Services in Russell Union, and I want to say there was one more.
Yeah. I know Michael Biden and Katie.
Katie Carlson. Katie Carlson is a special. She's in school for her specialist degree in counselor education here, and she serves as one of our big resources when it comes to counseling some of the students here.
So, what has the campus response to the GSA been, and how do you feel it's been different, or from the rest of Statesboro, from the rest of Bullitt County, or just from the rest of Georgia, for that matter?
In terms of the response on campus, it tends to be... I've never really seen a huge response to it. People either just are like, yay, or they just kind of ignore it. And that... I'm not sure about Statesboro. I'm not a huge part of the Statesboro community, since I'm usually on campus. But I know in Savannah that most stuff like that also gets the same response.
I did notice that the Gay Straight Alliance here at Southern is one of the largest GSAs in Georgia right now. And on campus, I would agree with Carson, but it's also because of having an organization like this, when it comes down to member recruitment, some heterosexual people kind of feel like they would feel uncomfortable at our meetings or anything like that, because they're not really used to people from the GSM community, and we feel that we have to basically address that stigma related to this organization by educating everyone, and I've noticed that that's more of a focus for us this year especially.
I think there's definitely a difference between on-campus and off-campus. On campus, you do generally see a really supportive role, but there are those that oppose the GSA for whatever reason. But they seem to be less vocal about it than we find outside of Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern's campus tends to be more of a refuge for us, I think. Maybe that's because we're around people who are here for an education and more open because of that, or maybe that's just because there are people more our age and they're more accepting of the GSM community now. But we have run into several situations around town that have been very uncomfortable, especially when asking for maybe funding from different businesses. They have been a little less than receptive to some of our questions about selling coupons or discounts or things like that. But I think the most important part is that we don't let something like that stop us from doing the things that we need to do on campus. We actually have to come up with better and better ways to raise money. And I think that the ways we've come up with, and that's Skippy's department because she's our treasurer, she and her treasury committee have come up with some very ingenious ways to get some money to do the things that we need to do to bring the resources to campus that we need throughout the year.
Well, you recently conducted a quote-unquote what would you do scenario sort of social experiment on campus. Would any of you care to elaborate on what that experiment entailed and what some of the responses you got to it were?
What Would You Do was a series that aired on, I believe it was CNBC?
Or ABC.
Or ABC. I think 60 Minutes.
It wasn't related to 60 Minutes, no, but basically it would it was basically uncomfortable social situations and how people would react to them. Like, there were a few race-based ones. I remember there was one where they usually get actors to do it, and it was a college-age kid coming out to their mother as trans at a restaurant, and the actress playing the mother was not receptive to it as part of the act, and basically seeing how people would react to stuff like that. So we did a similar thing on campus relating to like gay situations. We had one that was a gay couple in the Russell Union, and then in the IT building we had one that was a polyamorous relationship. In case any of your listeners don't know what polyamorous means, that basically means when someone's capable of loving more than one person at a time, which is not an excuse for cheating, but it's like a multiple person relationship, basically.
All parties are consenting. Yes.
All parties are consenting. Corey, do you want to talk about the reactions?
So, well, we use this model of this ABC News documentary series to come up with these different situations, and we let our members come up with those different situations. And I believe that they found a lot of the responses to be very varying when it came to student response. I believe there were several different locations. The IT building, and there was also the Russell Union on campus. At the Union, that was our President Michael's little project. So the students there...
It was basically two males having mild PDA in the Russell Union, sitting down on a table, just sort of like holding hands, maybe like kisses on the cheek and stuff like that. And they got varying responses. They actually had one guy take pictures of them without their consent. He just took a picture on his cell phone of them, and same in the Chick-fil-A line. And we also had another student react to them. Like, they went up to the wellness booth and talked with them for a minute, and were presenting as a couple. And then our other member came up and was making disparaging comments about them. And the one person there was just trying to do his job and was sort of brushing it off. But the two girls that were at the booth as well were very critical of the man being critical of the other two. So it was a lot of responses where either people didn't do anything, but they would have if it had escalated, or they were sort of positive responses and a few negative. I'm not sure exactly how many. I wasn't part of this.
I believe we also had some people strategically placed around the Union during this skit, so that we could kind of gauge the response of different tables. And I believe one of our members told us that he was standing beside a table and he overheard a group of people talking, and it was two boys and two girls. And the thing he found the most shocking was that these girls tended to be more against it than these boys did. And I think a lot of times you tend to maybe stereotype or think of girls as being more receptive or open to the GSM community.